Hello, my beautiful family member. I'm really so glad to converse with you at this particular point in time to share my wins with you. For the past 5 years or more that I've been in the United Kingdom, it's been a real walk of faith, and there have been challenges here and there. There have been things that made person happy. There are things that you looked at and you will be like, oh, if I had been in my home country. But then there was a big goal, and the goal was clinching the renowned indefinite leave to remain. And so God has done it for me. And it's not doing it for me alone. He hasn't done it for me alone. He's doing it round. And God is fixing all my friends, my group members that we started the journey. And like, it was like just yesterday, we were studying for CBT, booking CBT, started IELTS training, writing and passing CBT. Then through the visa processes, we were celebrating and jubilating, felicitating all through the journey. And then coming to the United Kingdom, landing, we were sharing all those stories, all those success stories. Honestly, it was quite easier then than now. But I know that God, who made it possible, will still do it for everyone in the waiting, everyone desiring such. And so we got in here, we started the work. The work was tedious. You all know, if you have been around or you've heard from your friends, nobody is telling you the lies. If you are not yet here, it's not persistently easy, and it's not like where we came from. You have to keep watching your backs. You may be fortunate to have great colleagues working with you, but there are still things you still want to ensure you are putting in place, especially those who are not even our colleagues, like those who will work together that are not up to your band will be the one that would even be there to be saying you are not doing it right. They want to take the glory, they want to supplant you in most situations. But thanks be to God, except when you really get to where you have people that are of like mind, like where I'm currently working. We have people that are of like mind, people that are ready to correct you speedily, people that are ready to give you their shoulders to lean on when there are challenges here and there. It's been a big work, and so everyone desires to see a day that you will get the ILR, and then you will appreciate God. You clap for yourself, you look at your journey, and you will know that, oh yeah, you've done a meritable job. And so I was actually due this ILR since January, but because I was looking at so many things, first I was looking at the cost. It's a very big one. It's expensive. Like if you want to do the standard application, you don't want to add priority, you don't want to book maybe closer dates or whatsoever, you will be paying £2,885. It's not an easy money, it's not small money at a particular point that we are at this particular time of life. And if you want to do extra, maybe priority or super priority, you add to your money. For super priority, you add £1,000. For priority, you add £500. For priority, you will get your report back within 5 days normally. For some people, it could exceed that time. Some will not even reach the 5 days. For super priority, you should actually, all other things being equal, have your reports back within 24 hours. So it's a big spending, and before you even dream of doing that, you must actually have written Life in UK test, which is a test that talk about the values, the histories, the traditions, and everyday life in the United Kingdom. That test costs £50 if you don't need to book rush. For rush could cost more than that. Like the center I used, I saw those that were £65, and really I did not want to pay that extra £15 because everything in the UK is only, they can't just say come and breathe the air you are breathing in and pay money for it. Everything is money. So it's £50 for regular examination, and yeah, you can actually write that examination once and pass it, but if anything happens, you can book 7 days after you've written one if you do not have the pass score. The pass mark is 75%, while you have 24 questions in the ILR. So that means you must at least pass 18 out of the 24 questions. And when you've passed, you'll get the unique reference number that you will use to apply for your ILR or citizenship exam, as they call it. It's either called the Life in UK test or citizenship examination. Both mean the same thing. So this test, you will write the 24 questions for 45 minutes. You can spend as little a minute as you like there. I'm sure I didn't spend up to 5 minutes. It was that easy, and the preparation was not too tough for me. I was preparing before, like from August last, was it June last year or thereabouts? I started preparing when a sister friend passed their own test. But then at some point when I got my PR to somewhere else, I felt, and that one came so cheap, I said, oh, as in financially more costs, more bearable in terms of cost than this one. I felt there should be no reason for me to write this one again. So, but then as God would have it, then we still went for the examination and passed. So you can study like me. I studied for just about 2 or 3 days, because after I stopped, I wasn't preparing. Then things happened. People started encouraging us, give it a go, give it a try. And then I had to do a rush booking, because as at the time I was trying to book, I'd already dropped my resignation letter at my workplace. So because I wasn't keen on writing initially, so I dropped that. But I had to put a rush so I could finish everything within the period before my notice period expires. So I just prepared for like 2-3 days. Don't forget I've been preparing before. So you can prepare. I see if you are very smart, sharp, and you have all the time at your fingertips, then you can prepare within those 2-3 days, 1 week. But please give it a good time to prepare. It doesn't worth it for people to fail and be going back. Of course, you can write as many as you like, but what is the essence of paying 50 pounds? I've seen someone who have complained that their spouse had written the examination for 18 times and they were tired. You know the frustration that we set in. So we don't want that to happen to anyone. So it doesn't expire. So once you've passed forever, even if you are not using it for the next 5, 6, 7 years. So let's assume you are on maternity leave and you are thinking you will get your indefinite leave to remain in the United Kingdom. Please write it during this period. There was a friend of mine who wrote us when she was pregnant, when she was expecting her baby, because she felt like, okay, when I have the baby, I may not have so much time to do all these preparations. And honestly, that was our decision, and I think it's reasonable too. Or you just came in, or you are in your regular annual leave. It's a test that you can just book within, like the one I did, I booked within 2-3 days and wrote. So you can book it within 7 days, prepare and write it and put it there. You are not going to rewrite it again. And so if you are not planning leaving, and you have that time, so that you don't have to pressurize yourself when time comes, just write it and keep it there. You will receive a unique reference number when you are done with that, and that's what you are actually going to use to present for your examination when you are going to do your citizenship whatsoever. When you are going to apply for your ILR or apply for your citizenship later. So it's a computer-based test. They are objective questions, and like I've said, there are things about what is happening in the United Kingdom or what has happened. Like Nanel said, that you'll be reading about the ancestors that were gone by. Here you study all those things, and I think I really enjoyed it. I just wish my home country to bring up our history this way, so that children, everyone could learn and enjoy it. It was quite enjoyable, where I read about someone who wanted to divorce their wives, and they had to pull people here and there they had to form a congregation so that they could have people that would vote for them to divorce their wife. If you don't have the strength, if you read those things, there are some things you will read and you start questioning why this, why that. And all these stories of the wars, the Trafalgar things, all those ships, all those wars between here and there, and how some people clear a very long portion of areas so that they could have places to rear their cattle. Honestly, it was a very beautiful read. And how should you behave yourself in this land? All those things are there that you enjoy. Who are the saints of so places? Which places are the Great Britains? Which one is not part of the Great Britain? Honestly, beautiful. When did women start voting? What led to the situations that made women start voting? Who led that change that made it possible for women to start voting? It was a beautiful, beautiful one. Who was that great transformation leader that UK is still referring to till today? Honestly, it was a beautiful one. So you may want to just write it now. Keep it there. Interesting. It is very, very interesting. And you can still check back on this channel, because I will be telling some of those stories very soon, and be putting some of the questions that you may come across. I don't know them by head, but things that I'll just tell the story, and then you will be able to know, such that if you have a question that is related, you will be able to know, oh, I read it or I heard it from the Akins TV channel. That's just what we'll be doing in the next few days. So I wrote the test and I applied for the visa on 28th of March. And then I did a priority, because my time for my notice to expire at work was quite close. And interestingly, I want to glorify God, because I got the mail that my application for indefinite leave to remain has been successful. That was on Monday, and in fact, the way the thing they shock, as in ILR, they do person gish. They make person happy, especially. Honestly, it was like I forgot all the distresses of the past 5 years. I really, it healed those wounds, it healed those challenges, it reinvigorates me. And besides, I want to be very grateful to express my appreciation to the government of the United Kingdom. It's such an opportunity. When you move from your land to another area and you have means of prospering, flourishing, even though we are not wealthy, there are many things to be done. We haven't done so many things, but still you are thriving, you are alive, you are healthy, you are doing things you should do in your little ways. You have means of feeding your families. Yeah, you have means of having your family being kept safe and in good health. We should actually appreciate such government. And so, as you are looking at me, I'm one of the very settled persons around. And when I actually got the mail, by the 3rd day, my BRP came, and the BRP is quite different from the one that we got when we came here initially. That one that we got when we came here initially, you will see your COS number in some of them, and you will see your NI number. This new one does not have NI number. Maybe I'm not going to be paying national insurance again, so I don't know what they meant, whatsoever they meant by that, but it doesn't have it. It was such a beautiful piece, but we learned that the BRP too they will be facing it off in December. So the expiry date on the BRP is 31st of December this year, 2024. but then it's there. And after that, what does indefinitely, why does it bring so much joy? It brings so much joy because you don't have to depend on employer to do so many things. You can work as many hours as you like, no restriction that you must not work more than 20 hours on this visa, this and this and that. And then you can just work as you desire, and you don't need to go and be booking for visa biometrics, paying for visas here and there. And by the time you stay on this ILR, definitely for settlement whatsoever, for 12 months, you can actually apply for your citizenship. Then you get that passport, and once you get that passport, then you should be good to go, book anywhere you want to go around in all those countries that you can enjoy free moving into. Like, you don't need visa to visa free countries to the passport you are holding. You can just book your trip and just take the next available flight and go. Then there are some benefits your kiddies could actually get, like you can apply for child benefits. And may I say at this particular point in time that people should not depend on this, because for us that are coming from areas where there are lots to do, I would say this might not be the best for you to sit down with. Don't think that's going to solve anything, but it's good at least for you to know that what your child was not getting before, they can actually get it. So you can get bits of child benefit for your kiddies' life. For our kiddies, if we are able to get them, I know the money could not really feed them per week, but then it's going to sort some things. And like what some of us that are kiddies who go to school, they are not entitled to public fund, and so they won't feed them. You can actually, the children can actually take school meals now, and they will not be counted as public fund. And honestly, that could take a whole lot of stress off you, because you wake up, you finish day shift, maybe you were doing 7 to 8 p.m. and your child is going to school, you want to go to work again in the morning, you have to wake up very early, 4:30, you're in the kitchen cooking and preparing things to them. You can just decide you don't want to cook for them. They should take school meal. And besides, it will help them to acculturate to the foods of this area, which is very, very good for me, for every one of us. So it will take some pressure off every one of us by the time they are able to get that. Yeah, but that money isn't too big. It's not something you can really flex on. I'm not sure it's money people can use to buy a house or buy cars. They're not big money, but it's a pleasure to know that one can actually benefit from them. Yes, and there are a few other things you can do too while you get all those things. You'll be exposed to them as time goes on. And yeah, like if they are going for trips in school, there are trips they may want to go to, but because you are not entitled, you have to pay. If that happens, if it is something that public fund can settle, then you may not need to make such payments. Honestly, it's been a very beautiful experience since I got it. It's like, I don't know, I feel so extremely happy getting it. But then why was I apprehensive that I was afraid and wasn't at some point keen on doing this again? The fact that we had paper that is quite related to what I just got. The whole family had that. And the fact again that I dropped my resignation letter, and they would need to, sometimes I learned they used to contact employers to confirm whether you are working with them and all those things. So I felt, okay, but what if my employer was now saying, yeah, but she has resigned and all those things. But God worked it out. Then another thing that got me worried was because of my hours, because I've really reduced my hours because of childcare. So I felt maybe those hours will not really meet the need of the day. But then, as God would have it, if they made the calculation, I believe I still had the going rates